Hello everybody. So today we have an intro to Sun Salutations B video for beginners. So what that means is today we're going to be going through each of the 19 postures one by one, and I'm going to be offering you modifications for beginners. So these are things that you can do if you step onto your mat in an Ashtanga and a vinyasa class, and you just want some help to kind of move more mindfully through these postures. Or maybe you just want to refresh on the cues and what you should be thinking about in each posture. So after we go through each posture one by one, each asana one by one, we're going to take a flow together just to practice and see how you feel flowing through Sun Salutation B. Let's go ahead and look at Tadasana first. So this is the first posture in a Sun Salutation B. We're going to start at the front of the mat, Tadasana or mountain pose. So you can bring your feet hip width distance or close together. It's up to you. And what we want to do is, working from the ground up, we're going to push into those feet, engaging those legs, engaging those quads to lift those knees, tucking that pelvis under, and bringing your hands strong at your side. So this is our first posture, mountain pose. Let's get started at the front of the mat where we usually would be for a sun salutation. Then the next posture, we inhale our arms up, sinking back into our hips, coming into this chair pose. So the weight is coming back onto your heels. You're looking forward, sinking deeper here, straightening your back as much as you can. If you have tight shoulders, we could just go ahead and drop those arms to your side. So whatever version of this chair pose works for you. Good. From chair pose, our next posture is a forward fold. So we exhale down, and we're going to bend our knees as generously as possible, right? So our belly and our chest is going to touch our thighs here. We can bring our hands out in front of you, touching the mat, or we can bring those hands behind our ankles, giving ourselves this bit of a hug here. The next posture is a halfway lift. So we're going to inhale, finding a flat back, finding straight legs here. Your hands, they can be on your thighs like mine are now, or you can find them on your shins, looking forward here. Breathing. In a typical Sun Salutation B, you're going to jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. But for us, we're going to plant those hands down, coming in to a high plank, pushing into those hands. So let's work from the ground up. We push into those hands. Those hands are underneath your shoulders. Your heels are pushing back, and we're engaging that core, looking slightly forward. High plank. We're going to then drop down to your chaturanga. So your arms are at 90 degrees here. Next, we're taking a back bend. We can go ahead and drop everything back down to the ground, untucking those toes behind us. And with our legs hip width distance apart or together, we're going to find a cobra or a baby cobra. So with our hands in line with our chest, we can inhale to come up. So taking a back bend, we're here. This is baby cobra. Or if we have more space, pushing more into those hands, dropping that pelvis closer to the mat, coming to cobra, looking forward. If you'd like to try the traditional posture here is an upward facing dog. So from our chaturanga, we're going to bring ourselves forward, rotating on those toes, opening up through that chest, and our legs are off of the mat in this one. So you have those three options here. So if we're in cobra and we exhale to come back down, we want to make our way back to downward facing dog. So some options here. We can tuck those toes under, coming through to our knees, pressing our hips back, straightening these arms, pushing our hips up, downward facing dog. That's one way. Another way, if we're here with our belly on the mat, is just to tuck those toes under, pushing straight up into our high plank, raising those hips high. Downward facing dog. So in our downward facing dog, we want all the weight to be equally distributed between our hands and our feet. Our hips are raised to the sky. We're opening up through those shoulders, and we're looking through to our thighs or towards our belly button. We can go ahead and bend the knees if we'd like, straightening that back, right? This is another variation. Or we can take some movement here. So some people in class, some teachers might call out to walk the dog. And that means something just dropping one knee, dropping the other, pushing one heel to the mat, and then the other. So we're here. The next posture in our Sun Salutation B is Warrior I. So we're going to raise that right leg high, bring that right foot through in between your hands. From here, we're going to pivot on that back foot, trying to find a 45-degree angle, finding our base before we inhale up, looking forward. Our hips are facing forward. If this is too much on your back knee, we can modify it to a high plank. So you pivot on that back foot, hips are facing forward, squeezing in to the midline, and those arms come up above you. We'll go to the next posture, exhaling down. We're going to find our high plank from before, taking what's called a vinyasa sometimes, dropping to chaturanga, our 90-degree angle, coming up to the back bend of our choice, cobra or up dog. Looking forward here. From here, let's drop the head down, making our way to downward facing dog. So you can come through your tabletop, or you just tuck those toes under, pushing strong into your plank and coming to downward facing dog. Traditionally, in a flow, you're going to have 5 cycles of breath here in your downward facing dog before coming to the next posture, which is Warrior I on the opposite side. So we're going to raise that leg high, your left leg this time. Bring that left foot in between your right hands, pivoting on that back foot. That back foot is at 45 degrees. And we're going to inhale, coming up. If this is too much for your back knee, you can pivot that back knee forward, coming to your toes, finding your high lunge. Looking forward here. We're going to exhale to come down, finding that vinyasa. So coming to our plank, dropping down to chaturanga. You can go to cobra like we did before, or tucking those toes under, opening up through your chest, upward facing dog. And then we make our way the same way as before, or just rotating on your toes from upward facing dog to downward facing dog. So we have the modifications from before, or straight from upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Let's take a few cycles of breath here. Before looking forward, we can step, jump, or hop to the front of the mat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk my feet in between my hands, finding my forward fold first. So taking an extra exhale in your forward fold. And then we'll inhale to find our flat back position, halfway lift. Exhale to drop down. And on an inhale, we're going to raise those arms up, sinking back into those hips, looking forward, chair pose. And when you're ready, inhaling up, coming back to where we started, here in our strong mountain, strong Utkatasana, here. So those are all of the postures that we can do in a Sun Salutation B. If you notice, we start and we end in mountain pose. So it's a cycle that we can go through. Also, if you notice, there are a couple of moments for downward facing dog. So you can modify it even further, not taking your vinyasa, so your chaturanga, your upward facing dog, or your cobra, and you can just go straight to downward facing dog. And so when you're in a class, you know that, okay, everybody is going to be meeting in a downward facing dog, right? So just playing with it, finding what feels good for you, and slowly but surely advancing in each of these postures little by little. So before we get going today, we're going to go through a flow. So one flow of Sun Salutation B. If you're ready, come join me here at the top of your mount in mountain pose. So your feet hip width distance apart or together. We're going to come to a strong mountain, arms at your side, really activating the body. Let's breathe here. Inhale, those arms come up, sitting back into that chair. Exhale, we drop those hands down, coming into your forward fold. Maybe bringing those arms behind your ankle. Inhale, we'll halfway lift, straightening those legs, straightening the back, looking forward. Exhale, we'll drop those hands to the ground, stepping back into your plank position. Let's go ahead and drop down chaturanga, 90-degree angle with your hands, and coming down to your belly. We'll push into those hands, inhaling to look up, pressing into cobra or baby cobra. We're going to drop that head down on an exhale, moving through tabletop to bring us where everybody's going to meet in downward facing dog. Let's take a few cycles of breath here. Activating your dog, pushing into your hands, pushing into your feet, bringing your heels closer to the mat. We'll breathe. Let's bring our right leg up to the sky, stepping our right hand or foot in between our hands. We're going to pivot on that back foot, bringing that back foot to 45 degrees angle. Inhaling up, warrior one or high lunge. Breathing here. Exhale, we drop those hands down. Let's bring our right foot back to meet our left, high plank position here. Exhale, dropping down chaturanga. Dropping to our belly. We push into those hands and we inhale to lift to our cobra or our upward facing dog. Exhale to drop everything down, tucking those toes under. This time, let's push straight up into our plank and raise those hips. Downward facing dog. Breathing here. Taking a moment just to notice how you feel. Maybe these are new postures for you. So just feeling them out with no judgment. We're going to go ahead and raise that left leg high, bringing this left foot in between our hands, pivoting on that back foot, 45-degree angle. Inhale to come up, warrior one. Our hips are facing forward. Maybe we come to a high lunge, pivoting on that back foot. Exhale, those hands come down. We're going to find plank position. And on our next exhale, we're going to come down to chaturanga. And maybe we tuck those toes under, coming to upward facing dog. So you're here in upward facing dog or cobra. And we're all going to meet back in downward facing dog. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling through that nose. When you're ready, we're going to look towards our hands. We can jump, step, or hop to the front of the mat. I'm going to walk my feet slowly forward, coming to my forward fold. My belly and my chest are on my thighs. Taking an inhale now. Halfway lift. Exhale, we forward fold. Let it all go. Before we inhale, those arms up, sitting back into that chair. The weight of your body is in your heels. Maybe our arms are up or they're by our side. And then we inhale, coming down to our mountain pose. Looking forward, breathing here. Just really taking a moment to feel the benefits of this practice. Awesome work, you guys. So you just went through a Sun Salutation B. Congratulations. I hope you're going to feel a little bit more comfortable moving through these postures the next time you're in an Ashtanga or a Vinyasa yoga class. All right, until next time, bye-bye.